I'm Umbreon Libris, and I'm always late at responding to discussions that happen in the community at large. Joe Merrick of Cerebi.net put out this opinion/discussion piece where he argues that shiny Pokemon are becoming too common, and he published it over a month ago, but I just read it a few days ago, so I figured I could talk about my feelings on this topic. Here's my hot take. I don't think that it's possible for shiny Pokemon to be too common unless they became more common than the normal coloration. I'll try to back that up, but I know that everyone has different reasons for liking shiny Pokemon, and so not everyone's gonna relate with me here. For me, there's two things that can make a shiny Pokemon special. The surprise and the rush of finding that random wild shiny, and the color, if it's a color that I think looks cool. It also has to be a Pokemon that I like, or at least one that I'm willing to give a chance to. But just being the shiny of a Pokemon that I like, that by itself is not enough for it to be special if it doesn't also have either the random encounter or the cool color, at least. I've got a shiny Shedinja that I hunted for, and I love Shedinja, but this one doesn't really feel any more special than a normal Shedinja. They just look too similar. The rarity plays into that first part of finding the random wild shiny, but for me, it's not a very important element. I don't really care if lots of other people have the same shiny or if it was easy or hard to get. Like the Gyarados from Lake of Rage, I usually put it on my team. Gyarados is already pretty cool in blue, but it looks rad in red. The fact that it's a guaranteed shiny encounter and almost everyone has one doesn't matter to me at all. Same with the shiny Beldum that was given out in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Would it have been more exciting if it had been a random wild encounter? Absolutely. But I still put it on my team because I like Metagross and it looks even better in Silver and Gold. Even the Zygarde that was given out in Gen 7, despite me not liking legendaries, I definitely used it for a bit. I like 10% Zygarde, Power Construct is a fun ability, and I really like the white and green color scheme. Rarity is very much not a factor in the reasons why I care about shiny Pokemon. I've even had some random encounter shinies that I've never really cared about, like a Raticate and a Victreebel that I found in Leaf Green. They're not Pokemon I really have any attachment to, and they don't have colors that I think look particularly good. In Diamond, I even found a random shiny Bibarel, and then traded it on the GTS for a regular color Carnivine, because I just care that little about Bibarel, and I needed a Carnivine for my Pokedex. Haven't regretted that. Many of my most prized shinies throughout the years have been random wild encounters, like a Spinda and a Crobat that I caught in Ruby and that I still play with in every new game, the Crobat especially. Or an Oricorio that I caught in Sun, or a Ribombee that I caught in Ultra Moon, neither of which would have made it onto my team if they hadn't been shiny. But if they weren't Pokemon that I liked to begin with, they wouldn't have made it onto the team anyway. Case in point, the Oricorio, which I caught as Pau style in Akala Island, but didn't put it onto my team until I could change it into the Bily style, and then didn't make it a permanent team member until I could change it into the Sensu style, because those are the Oricorio forms that I actually like. Oh, there's also a Chandelure and a Hawlucha, both of which I got by surprise when breeding for competitions in Gen 7. The Chandelure happened in 10 eggs, and I got super lucky that it had 5 perfect IVs. I love them both very much and brought them both into Sword and Shield to use in ranked battles, but that's much more because I like Hawlucha and Chandelure to begin with, and I think they look great in their shiny colors, than because I got them by surprise. I know a lot of people also put a lot of value in working hard for a shiny, and I can understand that. When you put a lot of time and effort into a shiny hunt, it can really feel like a trophy when you do get it. But that doesn't really do it for me. Maybe it's because I don't find shiny hunting fun. Some methods have been kind of fun, like the wormhole minigame in Ultra, but most of them aren't, and even the wormholes in Ultra had such a limited number of Pokemon, and most of them weren't even ones that I like. And so I will only hunt for shinies that I really want. And I'll usually do it with the Masuda method, even though it's mind-numbingly boring, because at least I get to control which Pokemon I get, and I can get good stats and IVs while I'm at it. I've tried soft resetting for legendaries, but I just cannot stick with it. I still haven't caught the Mewtwo in Let's Go or the Celebi in Crystal on the Virtual Console, because maybe someday I will want to go back and try resetting for them again. Although if I'm being honest with myself, that's not going to happen. Probably all of my absolute most prized shinies, and definitely all the ones that I currently use the most, I got through the Masuda method, including some fantastic shinies like Toxtricity, Whimsicott, Obstagoon, Hattrem.
This is just a flex.
But I've had hunts that were really quick, like Umbreon that was in about 30 eggs, or a Tyranitar that I got in, I think, Silver on the Virtual Console. That was in under 20 eggs. And I've also had some hunts that were really long, like over 1,500 eggs for a Gardevoir and over 2,000 eggs for a Greninja, and I do not prize the longer hunts more. If anything, I kind of resent the Greninja a little bit for taking that long, because those 2,000 plus eggs were over the course of about 2 years, because I just hate shiny hunting that much. I'm currently in the middle of a Masuda hunt for a Rowlet, and maybe by the time this video comes out, I will have the shiny Rowlet, but right now I just passed 512 eggs, and I'm so fed up with it. And so I will take absolutely anything that will make shiny hunting faster. In Generation 2, you could make the shiny rate as high as 1 in 64 if you bred a shiny Pokemon with a regular one, because shininess was determined by IVs. And so as soon as I found out about the shiny Ditto glitch that allows you to catch a Ditto in a Generation 1 game that is guaranteed to be shiny when you transfer it to Generation 2, I went and got one. And I do it again every time I replay Generation 2. I got my first shiny Umbreon that way, and I've gotten a bunch of others over the years. Around the time of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I discovered a subreddit called Breeding Dittos, where they will give you a foreign language 6 IV Ditto. And yeah, those Dittos are shiny themselves, even though that doesn't matter, and they are almost definitely hacked. But you bet I got one, and it's still the Ditto that I use for breeding to this day. Back in Let's Go, I did lots of shiny hunting there too. Pidgeot, Wigglytuff, Rapidash, Ninetales. Getting catch combos was pretty fun, and the shiny usually showed up relatively quick, and that was such a relief. Ninetales still took me several days, but that was still way less painful than most of my Masuda hunts. One of Joe Merrick's big concerns in his article was how shiny Pokemon are handled in Pokemon Go, where the base shiny rate is way higher than in the main series, and it gets boosted to about 1 in 20 for community days, and so it's totally possible to get dozens of shinies of the same Pokemon. And with Pokemon Home integration coming by the end of the year, we are very likely looking at a situation where Go shinies take over the main games as well. And that makes me so happy. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to getting some of my Go Shinies into Sword and Shield or whatever later main series games they become available in. Especially Pokemon like my shiny Espeon, Houndoom, Salamence, Blaziken, or Pokemon that I'm saving to evolve in a main series game like Trapinch and Alolan Grimer. Maybe within Go, shinies feel less special because the rush of that random encounter happens more often, but Go isn't a game that I play actively anymore, and I don't see it affecting my experience of the main games, even with integration via home. All of that is to convince you that rarity is not something that I'm concerned about when it comes to shiny Pokemon. I just want to have the Pokemon that I like in a color that I think looks cool. Maybe you don't agree for yourself, but hopefully you at least see where I'm coming from, and you'll understand why I'm making this proposal. We already have 2 modes, let's say, of finding shiny Pokemon in main series games. You have random wild encounters, and you have shiny hunting methods. And I do think that they need to be considered independently of each other, but I also think that the shiny rate needs to be boosted for both. For random encounters, I think the shiny rate should be tied to the expected total number of wild encounters in an average playthrough, from the start to the end of the postgame plot. Finding a totally random shiny in the wild is a really magical experience and can really get you to reconsider your opinions on a Pokemon, and I want more people to have that. So I say take the average number of encounters per game, round it up, and make that your base shiny rate so that most people will encounter 1 shiny in their game. Maybe 1 in 4096 is already that magical number, but I suspect it's a bit low. Now, for methods of boosting your shiny chance, there can be a range of them, but I think there should be one that is guaranteed. Make it something that takes effort and skill, but minimize the need for just plain time and patience and luck. Masuda method breeding already takes time and patience and luck, and 2 of those things I don't have, and 1 I have no control over. So I basically want the exact opposite of Masuda method. I don't mind if I need to put in time to practice a skill, like if it's a mini game of some kind, for example, as long as it's something that I can get good at, and so future hunts get easier and easier, and if it's something that I can have fun doing. And I want the results to be guaranteed, otherwise it just turns into a gacha game, and I don't think anyone wants that. If I can master this skill, whatever it may be, I want the results to be consistent. I worry that some of you might mistake this for entitlement, like I just deserve to get this shiny because I want it. And I don't think that that's the case for 2 reasons. The first is that I just want to have fun with Pokemon, and I'm gonna have more fun if I can do it with a Pokemon that looks cool. Shiny hunting, whether it's through the Masuda method or most of the other shiny hunting methods ever, that's not my idea of fun. There are so many things I would rather be doing than hatching Rowlet after Rowlet after Rowlet, and having to go through that really drains my enjoyment of the game, and I'm tired. And the second thing is that I just don't see why someone else getting a shiny should have any impact on your enjoyment of that same shiny. I know that some of you place value on rarity, but I don't get it. And maybe you can explain it to me in the comments. I want to have all of the shinies that I like, but I also want you to have all of the shinies that you want. And I want it to not take a lifetime for any of us.
Communist.
If Game Freak makes a guaranteed shiny method and you want to exploit it to get a quick shiny living dex or 10 shiny living dexes, I want you to go for it if that's what you're gonna have fun with. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Let me know in the comments how you feel about what makes shiny Pokemon special and the current state of shinies, and how you feel about my ideas for how to handle them. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my patrons for their support, especially luxury patron Ethan from Chicago. I'm Umbreon Libris. I'll see you in the next chapter. Keep stepping on that.
Get to it.